some years ago before you had this building, and lovely to see Unitarian Universalism growing everywhere. Congratulations on all that's going on here. Oh boy, he's going to sneeze. Don't do that. So we light a chalice at the commencement of, if I'm not doing this in order.
You are.
I'm new here. We light a chalice at the commencement of our spiritual gatherings. Sometimes even business meetings, we light a chalice. At camps and conference centers. Do I have a microphone going on? I don't think so. Hello? I don't hear anything.
Yeah, it's there.
There we go. At camps and conference centers, wherever you find Unitarian Universalists, you're likely to find a chalice or several. I know people who travel with chalices. I haven't quite ascended to that myself, but it's a symbol of our free faith, our free search for faith, our free lack of faith, as some have put it, and it is symbolic of a great many things. On another Sunday, I can promise you it'll have an entirely different connotation. But for me today, it says the earth is a being, a vessel, sailing on with a fire in its heart. The inside of the earth, someone told me, I believe it was on NPR, is virtually as hot as the sun. Now, if it's that hot on the inside, where are the flames on the outside? Well, on this cooling planet, we must be them. We are that energy force of earth, burning, oxidizing, green and blue and white when you see us from out in space, down here on the ground, fashioning from the earth a whole spectrum of color, providing this mysterious and mystical balance of peace and health and justice that we might call spirit. And I like this word spirit, as you'll see. Wasn't that a good transition? I have found that I am now number 347. I go to General Assembly and someone says, oh, there's Jim Scott. Oh, Lawrence, this is number 347. I wrote this song, and you musicians are kind of like comedians. When the comedians all get together at the comedians convention, they don't tell the jokes. They're numbered, and they say, oh, number 7. Ah, that's funny. This is number 347. You can look it up, or we got it right there. And I'm going to start, just to throw things off, well, I'm going to start with the chorus, sort of, and sing that to you for an introduction. So that'll just be me and the people who weren't paying attention. And we stand as willing and able for this. I forgot my strap to hold the guitar, so I'm going to stay sitting down. Gather in peace, gather in faith, gather in sympathy, now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Join us at the beginning. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour, our trials in this life appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy, now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate again in that dangerous bastion, the church that threatens family values, the church that wants to undermine the authority of the Father, the church that has half forgotten the Creator in its pagan worshiping of the creation, the church that those right-wing radio ministries have warned us about, this church of bleeding heart liberalism, some thinly veiled front for leftist politics, of homosexual propaganda. I like it here. Church that assures you you won't be going to hell no matter what you do in this life. Come on, stop applauding and just listen. The church that often leaves the first few pews open for the diversity we're sure is going to show up. We're open to it. The church of practicing witches, whose very assertion they don't believe in any devil, confirms they must be accomplishing some of his work. And the church that sings carefully, not sure if there are any words we can totally subscribe to and not be questioning ourselves tomorrow or in the next worship committee meeting. The church that is not sure if there is, in fact, anything we can celebrate with that passion and abandon those other churches hold for Jesus, the Savior, Son of God, the Father. Although something lurks in us, we might be missing out on some of their fun. It is that search for ecstasy, enlightenment, and other things, including free coffee, which is often the only thing whose origins we don't question, that brings us together. This is my church, and I'm a zealot. This is the church that says to everyone, you're not only welcome, but we need you and your creative input in our continuing, evolving, dynamic culture. Diversity is a strength, a survival mechanism we believe in. We face the challenge of weighing new and ancient wisdom in our search for guidance in this life, as well as the continuing creation of our own mythology. It's not an easy job, and we come together in meetings like this to offer each other ourselves for sustenance. I started at the Universalist Church of Norwell, Massachusetts. I remember the minister, a bombastic guy. He would say, well, that's about all I had to say. But I'm not going to stop now. Yay, now something's going to happen. I just want to paraphrase a little bit. I said, you won't be going to hell no matter what you do in this life. That is a basic tenet of universalism. And I remember my dad telling me this as we left that tall, narrow church with a spire. I might have been 5 or 6 years old. And I guess hell had come up. It had come up in a song or something. I think it was in the old hymn book, The Fires of Hell or something. And he said, you know, we Universalists don't believe that a loving God would sentence us to an eternity of damnation and hellfire. And that was a liberating thing to find out when I was 6 years old. And that's the gift we give to our young people, maybe older people, that you can question that bombardment of common accepted something and make your own way. Our third and fourth principles are, you can figure it out for yourself, but we'll help you. That's my... So you might have figured I wasn't really looking at this that much. I got that pretty well memorized, and I'm delighted people say, can we post that in our newsletter or something? You know, we like to make fun of ourselves. Once somebody confronted me in the foyer angrily and said, that was totally inappropriate. We don't make fun of other people's churches. I didn't think I did. I did say those right-wing radio ministries, I guess. But I thought we were just making fun of ourselves. Anyway, so that's my paraphrasing. But I just hold the piece of paper so that you'll know I thought about it ahead of time. Even though I don't see anybody under 21 in front of me here. else you're dressed up in a really good costume. I wrote this song with a bunch of elementary school kids. Pretty smart, second and third grade, I found out. They told me all about the rainforest. They knew all about it. They told me about the animals in the rainforest. There's a lot of animals in the song. And they told me about the 4 levels of the rainforest. I never knew that. It's in a book. So we put the 4 levels in the song, and they go by fast. But then we see how they all go together. On the ground level, turtles and leopards and snakes live in the shelter the understory makes. The ground is so soft and the air is so clear, with 300 inches of rain every year. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life, you sing such a beautiful sound. Does that sound like a participatory chorus to you? With 4 notes. Oh, let the rain, you can sing it. Feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life. Sing me the song of life. You sing such a beautiful sound. Second verse. Down in the ground, the worms and the ants nurture the roots of the flowering plants. And up in the canopy, life is a breeze. Orangutans swing from the limbs of the trees. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life, sing such a beautiful sound. Now, while some of us sing that part, I'm sure you will, we need some others of us to sing another part. Oh, let the rain come down. Rain come down. That's it. Rain come down. If we got a higher voice, rain come down. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life. You sing such a beautiful sound. Third verse is high up above, where the toucans fly. They're birds. Emergent treetops reach into the sky. There's more kinds of plants than anyone knows. Look out, there's a sloth hanging by her 3 toes. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life, you sing such a beautiful sound. About this point, I'd like to put in the pop quiz. What were those 4 levels of the rainforest? Well, this is the way I remember it. My musical memory device. There's the understory. Understory. If we got a low voice, be the understory. Understory at the ground level. You can see the ground level. The ground level. Or the understory. Or the ground level. Canopy, ground. Canopy. Find your level. Canopy. all around us, up in the air, down in the ground, down in the water, all around us are all these things working together to keep us going. One word for that might be harmony. I like that because I'm a musician. The harmony of nature. Another word for it just might be peace. I know some things eat other things. Oh, but peace. And at this point, usually if we had any, we would be dismissing kids to go off and do something more interesting now. But we'll just sing that refrain one more time. Oh, let the rain come down, feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life music, such a beautiful sound. One of my favorite things to do in churches until we get so big that it becomes institutionalized and all that is to share our stories, our life passages, our milestones, our joys and concerns. Not a time for political announcements, but a time for personal reflections, if you might. And I like to do it with a song. Here's a little refrain. I know you can pick it up. With every story told, our friendship becomes art. Each passage of life is a gateway to the heart. We are one in joy. There was somebody under 21. And the music of our learning is danced in love and harmony with each day of Earth's turning. Let's try that again. It's right there, but you can get it straight from me. With every story told, with every story told, our friendship becomes art. Our friendship becomes art. Each passage of life is a gateway to the heart, is a gateway to the heart. We are one in joy and sorrow. We are one in joy and sorrow. And the music of our learning, and the music of our learning is danced in love and harmony, is danced in love and harmony with each day of Earth's turning. Are there joys or concerns to be shared this morning? May we, if you care to, come up and drop a stone in the sand, and then we will be passing a microphone around if you'd like to share with us a joy or concern in your life. have a microphone we can pass around if anyone would like to share with us a milestone, any rite of passage or joy or concern. Are there joys or concerns to be shared this morning? So, well, let's, for all the joys and concerns that remain in our minds and hearts that remain unspoken, let's sing the refrain one more time. With every story told, our friendship becomes art. Each passage of life is a gateway to the heart. We are one in joy and sorrow. We are one joy and sorrow. And the music of our learning is danced in love and harmony with each day of Earth's turning. I could get up and go over there. I wonder for efficiency, maybe I'll just stay sitting right here if that's okay. Get up when I talk and sit down when I play. It'll take time. A little story. On the day after what we now call the attack on America, or know by its cryptic numerals 9/11, my garden yielded up corn, beans, cucumbers, eggplant. Persistent and unjudgmental as the sun that follows a storm, this orchard and garden is often my asylum, and I find rooting in the soil to be fitting response in troubled times. Blanketed by winter snows, it still makes a soothing labyrinth for meditative walk. Now, seasons of bloom and fruit have come and gone again, while the perpetrators, long since identified, still haunt our collective soul. Immersed in this lush and healing context, I find myself imagining the conversation I might have had with Osama bin Laden. I picture he could have been a farmer, a rich one, if given the chance. He'd probably see my abundance as the spoils of evil powers. Or maybe I'd just be a peasant in the eyes of such an extraordinarily rich man turned international criminal. I dream we could talk about injustice and struggle for equality here in this sanctuary I've fashioned by my own hands. As the dog runs circles in her yard nearby, I would speak for nonviolence. He would have to educate me as to the oppression of his people, and no doubt make the case for revolution. Now, some may take offense at my attempt to even humanize such a monster. The most disturbing part, I think, to reconcile is that he at least saw himself as a deep... Hello? Hello? It's for you. He at least saw himself as a deeply religious man. I offer no defense for such actions, but world leaders have long sent young people into battle to kill, convinced of their justification. And some perverse version of Muslim cult has no monopoly on vengeance as policy. Perhaps it's not to the hardened criminal blinded by hate that I speak. I imagine listening to the anger and the accusations of all the people he claims to represent here in my tranquil garden. Among apple, peach, and cherry trees, there would be enough beauty and serenity all about us to keep us engaged. In the company of swelling pumpkins or savoring a fresh tomato, we might talk of the horrors of war. Amid roses and fragrant herbs, we might consider what he could possibly hope to accomplish through such violence. There is, I suppose, no real place for negotiation with the perpetrators of such crimes. Mr. bin Laden, or whoever it is like him, would argue there was no negotiating with the evil U.S. and the morally corrupt Western powers. Under the grape arbor, we might argue and disagree, but still be able to continue. I'm afraid, though, there might not be enough magic here, enough aura of harmony to hold our dialogue in its energy field. One could easily run off in a fit of anger past the picket fence fortresses of the middle class out to the highway and the city, where bastions of excess and consumption are monuments to a society dangerously out of balance with itself and the earth. It will take a bigger garden, a more inclusive sanctuary where time is suspended for depth of reflection. I pray for that garden of all the earth, where all are included, between that quiet where one might speak and be heard, and the sustenance of food, fresh air, and natural systems, busy in their harmony of symphonic proportions. Only then might our dialogue really take root. I am waiting in the silence. I am waiting for the dawn. I am often found in reverence, though from many sources drawn. It is not mine to fight for justice, for it will not be won this day. I am peace, and I am waiting for the lost to find their way. You'll not find me set in judgment of the vain or of the weak. I rise to meet the weary with the soulless that they seek. Still I have not fed the hungry, nor strewn wealth among the poor. I am peace, and bring but mystery and the patience to endure. I cannot save the suffering from their anger and their pain. Only open doors of insight, so the healing comes again. To the crowd, I am elusive. To the humble, I am near. May the broken rise and look beyond the trappings of their fears. I am found among the seasons, autumn's death and spring's rebirth, and relentless their momentum as the turning of the earth. All are welcome in my presence, for only love can conquer hate. I am peace, and for the harvest I have planted and will wait. So many papers, so little time. Okay, here it is. I have a great friend. She was back in the 90s. She was my manager actually for a while, and I say this with all due deference. She's very Christian and very religious, and she says, she talks to God, and God said this, and God will intervene in whatever, in this football game or something. I don't really subscribe to that myself, but it's a beautiful idea. And she said something about God intervening one day. We were talking on the phone, and I found myself saying, well, is God just for humans or for everything? Oh, everything, really, because it sounded like you were kind of on the side of just humans there. And I said, on Facebook, I saw that someone wrote in, I'm so sorry your ancient dog died, and we're so sorry, but I'm sure she's up in heaven happily chasing squirrels. Heaven's not so good for squirrels, I guess. So I said, well, is it just the Earth, or is it the whole solar system, the whole universe? Oh yes, God is the God of the entire universe. We're sure there's life out there. We may never get to it, but this life may be very much like ours somewhere out there. And oh yes, really. Wow. She's busy. So I used the word God a number of times in here. I have been at churches where people thought that was controversial, but you'll get my idea. It's a bit of a rant, so here it is. Oh God of the two black holes that collided 2 billion years ago. But we just felt it last year because it was so far away. God of the 275 million or so stars that will be born on this Earth day and again tomorrow. And God of this little star with 8 or 9 planets depending on who's counting. And God of this little planet, are you the same God? God of the elements, water, air, fire, and earth, and of bacteria, viruses and DNA, of photosynthesis and contagion and immunity, of growth and struggle, of suffering and surviving, of crimes and mistakes, of wounds and of healing. Oh God of evolution, diversity, nature, and lately humanity, of ideals and passion, of greed and dominance, of civilization, agriculture, industry, fossil fuels and plastic. God of science and nonsense. God of truth and lies. God of war, oppression, enslavement, genocide, the refugees, the dispossessed, the lost, the broken. God of hate and anger, and hiding right behind them, fear, and of amends and compassion, of cooperation. Now this is important, of cooperation. God of memory, stories, and lessons, of art and expression, of sharing and understanding, of love. Was love involved back there with the 2 black holes? And God of this world, are you the same God for this little group on this little part of this little ball that has brought us again the leaning toward the sun, awakening again the spring, the lust for life, adventure, exploration, risk, ecstasy, awareness, and aging, and enlightenment, where all our mistakes of the past become the compost for the fertile earth from which all is made anew. Are you still there? I know this is getting long. God of the senses, of beauty, of sorrow and elation. God for that one particular species with the power of creativity to have made you in our image. It was the best we could do with our small minds. Who don't even know your name. We fight about that. And who in this last flash of time have come to some little perspective on the whole thing. We're working on it. God of the wisdom of matter and energy trading places, and of big bangs and expanding universes and benign lack of oversight and trust in the evolution of things to have let us go here with Eden. And maybe the same, but different, on lots of other planets, around lots of other stars, in 500 billion galaxies, hundreds of billions of stars in each, 1 in 6 stars with planets around them. The odds are pretty good, God, of trillions of springs at this very moment. Thanks for all this. Before as we're celebrating our Mother Earth, our life support system today, we'll take a moment to celebrate this more immediate life support system, the work of this church community. And that means take the offering. And you have some words for us? Okay, that's some important things.
It is our tradition at UUCLC to give generously to our church, keeping in mind both its meaning in our lives and its impact on the world. Each Sunday service provides an opportunity to give and support the work of our congregation for ourselves and for our community. We will now pass the baskets. There are several ways to donate listed on the screen. However you choose to support us, please know we are grateful to each of you for helping to do the good work we are here to do together.
Far beyond the grasp of hands, or a light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind, there find the key to nature's harmony in an architecture so entwined. Like the birds whose patterns grace the sky and carry all who join in love, expanding the message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings in the oneness of everything. Peace is in the dance of trees, stirring for the first breath of wind is yet perceived. Trust in the song, becoming one with the dance, and all mysteries can be believed. Songs of lives long past that touch our own are written in the earth, forever giving. And now to maintain the harmony gives to us all lives worth living, for the oneness of everything. Still we seek to find the truth that we might understand and reduce to terms defined, vast and immeasurable time and space, all so overwhelmingly designed. Oh, passing years just might I know the faith that winters in the heart to be reborn in spring, to hear and to feel the pulse of life enters my soul as a song to sing of the oneness of everything. usually have my phone right here to know what time it is and know if I should shorten things up and get this done, or if we can go a couple of minutes overtime. I don't know, how do we work here? In New England, I live in just outside of Boston, and in New England, if you don't get done in an hour, there's somebody in the back going like this. I'm getting thumbs up in the back here. Okay, do the whole thing. The sermon is not a 20-minute sermon, so don't worry. I get the sermon in and the songs, I hope. But I have a little bit of something to talk to you about. Because we're going to save the world. We are. I have posts on Substack, and I just wrote a whole thing last week. By the way, my birthday is January 1st. January 1st, 1946. I just hit 80, and I'm still working on that. I'm in denial about that, but thanks. But I heard on NPR, I am the beginning of the baby boom, January 1st, 1946. So here's what I just wrote last week. Okay, last year, we're done with that. That was not going to be remembered as a great year. Maybe in some ways. I'll bet something wonderful happened for each of us. But, it was the year we handed over democracy in America and maybe the whole fate of the earth to criminals. We got to do something about this. A crisis, this is not written here. I don't know why I'm holding a piece of paper. A crisis, they say, is an opportunity. Okay. Here is our opportunity. We got 10 months, a little less than a year, to save the world, if you ask me. We've got to elect people, because that's what we do. We have a peaceful democracy still to some extent, and we have no idea what might happen, what the criminals might do. But there's other people that are not criminals, or let's not think of them as criminals, that believe lies. And I know, I don't like them. They don't like me. I don't really want to deal with them. We must. Our 8th principle, by the way I interpret it is, you got to have a relationship with the people you least want to have a relationship with. That's what that 8th principle means. That's what the beloved community means. I'm so old that I remember we used to talk to our neighbors that we disagreed with. My dad was a great friendly. He was taller than I am. I'm 6'5". He was 6'6.5". I had him for math in high school. Did I say that? And everybody loved him. He was a big, tough guy, but he taught me nonviolence, I guess. I mean, when you sail a big ship, maybe, I know I got a privilege. I'll apologize for that. And so I know I've been the benefit of privilege. I'm a well-spoken, educated, big white male. I got that part. But what I've been doing for my life is trying to make art and spend my time making things more just, and saving nature at this point is my big thing. I got a grant for the concert I'm going to do this afternoon. I got a National Endowment grant for what I originally called the Year to Save the Earth. Well, that was 3 years ago. We might not see any more National Endowment grants the way we're going, but anyway, I got one. And I've made this multimedia show. And my idea lately has been the Year to Save the Earth sounded too serious, and I changed it to, if you see the posters, a vision for the planet. Maybe appearing more optimistic or celebratory, but I'm back to the original idea. This is the year. This is the time. We got to do something different than we've been doing. And I meet people who are well educated who say, what do you mean? I've worked hard to achieve this standard of living. I'm not giving up this standard of living. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking, and me, no, the Spirit is not asking us to give up our privilege It's to use our privilege, use our leverage, use our education, use our um, our great capability of speech and our vocabulary and our thinking and our arguments and our, maybe if you ever worked on it, our debating skills. But it isn't debate we're after. It's interaction. It's going to take a long time. You start by asking questions. Why is it that you think that this criminal who raped all these women, who stole, went bankrupt 5 times, and was it 4 or 5 times, and doesn't pay his bills, and says that veterans, that's me, are dopes and suckers, and what is good about this guy? And then listen. That's it. It takes listening. I don't have patience for that. I don't want to do that. Listen to the people even when you know they're wrong, But I'm trying to practice that. A neighbor near me who is a landscape architect said, "This is funny to us, but it is." We're sitting on his back porch, and we both have small dogs that walk by, and he grows marijuana in his backyard in Massachusetts. I mean, you can do that, and he said, "Well, I know things that other people don't know because I watch Fox News." Well, that made sense to him, So I didn't change his whole life, but I just said a few things that maybe undermined something. And what if nothing else? It's the beginning of him seeing a liberal as not the devil incarnate, that guy's a nice guy. and we talk. I suppose I'll talk to him some more. So we have 10 months. If we each could save one soul, how about one vote? Let's call it that. And then there's the people who I'm told sway way over toward the position that we would like, and they just don't vote. We got to get them mobilized, the people that are discouraged and so on. So I'm going to read just a little of this. No doubt this is going on from what I was just ranting about before. No doubt we know this life all around the universe. As I said, we may never get there. But all we really know about life is here, on this little ball. And we know a lot more about it than we did when I was a kid. That gives me hope. We know about DNA and CRISPR and all those things, matter and energy changing places, things like that. That gives me hope, but we need more than hope. We need a vision, and we need organization, because we need a plan, and we need not only the plan, but the will and the reassurance that we can do this. Here I am. I'm telling you we can do this. You don't have to believe me, right? But we can tell each other. And it's much easier to do as a group than all by yourself. I said I'm born in 1946. So World War II is ancient history to me. Rebecca Solnit, I don't have to read this, I know it. Rebecca Solnit, a wonderful writer, wrote that after World War II, cities all across the world are in ruins, and 60 million people have died directly from the war, and millions more from other related things. But jungles and rainforests and what we call wild places then, although we've been warned for a century or so before that, we're still hanging on kind of okay. What has happened in my lifetime is a war on the earth, unprecedented by anything. And it's not just this one criminal occupant, the useful idiot for the oligarchy in the shadows. It's been going on a long time. After every good war, the makers of war machinery put on huge advertising campaigns. Remember to keep buying guns, bombs, tanks, ships. And they did. And we got the Cold War out of that. And we got the CIA and so on. So there's another consciousness. I know you all know this. I'm usually preaching to the convicted. I know that you know this. It's just good for us to get up and remind each other. There are 3 times as many people on the earth as when I was born. 3 times as many people, and about 1/4 of the insects. Remember when they used to fill your windshield? It's not just those insects, it's all other things. And, this whole life on Earth is not really about us. It's about viruses and bacteria fighting against each other. And the little parasite that grows on the back of a fruit fly that then has a war with something else and changes everything. What we're doing is setting up whole new habitats for all this microscopic stuff that we don't even know anything about. And now, in 2021, we have made 90% of the plastic that has ever been made. And plastic is everywhere. We are breathing it. We are breathing microplastics. So, what are we going to do about this? We could have leadership that would do something about this. And I look at myself and I just say, well, I haven't worked hard enough. I'm going to have to work a little harder. 10 months, this is our opportunity. I'm going to forget the rest of that. You're spared the rest of that. I hope you'll come this afternoon. Hope you don't go home now and say, boy, I've heard enough of that guy. I got other songs. The Rainforest song we rehearsed, we'll use that again this afternoon, but a whole other thing I have to offer. So hope you'll stick around. We've got a potluck lunch. My wish for you, as now we part, is for greater peace to fill your heart with dreams as vast as starry space. So hurt and anger know no place. No, may truth be shared and wounds be healed, and joy for living be revealed. Through every fate and circumstance, may hope lead weary steps to dance, and may your life be as a song, resound with the dawn, to sing awake the light, and softly serenade. Wisdom was a striking young man. He met a beautiful woman named Love. Now, I'm not really sure who was the man and who was the woman. Maybe they were the same sex. I'd like to keep you, said Wisdom. You can't own me, said Love. But I love you anyway. What would it cost to know you'd always be there? Asked Wisdom. Don't ask such questions, said Love. Just look at the stars. Why? Wisdom pondered. Are they telling us something? Oh, chill out, chided Love, which made Wisdom happy in a funny sort of way. And so it was that Wisdom fell in love with Love and thus became truly wise. Let us go in peace. As we extinguish this chalice, our time together comes to an end and the service begins. Join us for coffee hour and analysis. Oh, we have something else to do. We don't. Join us for coffee hour and lunch, and hope you'll stay for the concert. Thank you.